Stadium. It's a District 196 battle between the Rosemount Irish and your Eagan Wildcats right here on ETV. And as we get things started, let's start with our national anthem. Wildcat football on ETV. As we said, the Wildcats, a little trek down Highway 3 as they take on the Rosemount Irish. And Nathan, we got ourselves a couple of 0-2 teams going at it, but two very different 0-2 teams.
Yeah, they're different 0-2 teams based on the competition they've played and how they've fared against that competition. We'll see tonight if Eagan can take another step forward in improvement. That's what the coaches want to see. That's what the players want to see, and that's what these fans who have made the big, long trek down Highway 3 want to see.
Yeah, Eagan lost that opener 42-0 against Minnetonka, who is now the top-ranked team in Class 6A. Had a tough one down at Lakeville South a week ago, 27-7 loss. Cole Gibson getting that late touchdown to get the Wildcats on the board. Rosemount, they are 0-2 to start. They lost 21-12 on this field to Wayzata 2 weeks ago. Wayzata, the number 10 team in the state. And they lost a tough one at Edina last week. The 5th-ranked Hornets beat them 17-14. In a game where the Irish had a lot of chances but just could not capitalize.
Well, good football teams are going to take opportunities, and they're going to take away your chances to capitalize, and that's obviously what Edina did last week against these Irish. We'll see if today the Eagan Wildcats can do the same thing. Obviously, it's going to take a heck of an effort. It's going to take another step for them to take another step forward. They're going to have to be better today than they were last week and to beat this Irish team.
That's what every coach does, I believe, every day in practice. And we were talking to Coach Hansen before the game, and I know the Eagan Wildcats did a little extra physical activity, I believe is the way he put it during the week. Just trying to want to ensure that, hey, you know what, we're serious about this. You guys, you know, if we mess up, we're going to be running. We're going to be doing extra physical drills. But they coach said otherwise. Good week of practice. He says they really feel like they're ready to go. Cats are a little short-handed tonight, however. Among those others is number 13, Cole Sackmaster. It sounds like it's just a one-week deal that Cole will not be playing. Cole, one of the top linebackers on this Wildcat squad, also does the punting. And number 55, Brett Heinlein, who's been playing some O-line and D-line, he's out as well. Looks like sophomore Diego Vieta is going to get the start on the offensive line for the Wildcats. But Eagan is going to start things off on defense. As Nathan Willis is going to kick off. Man to keep an eye on for Rosemount is number 1, Jonathan Mann. He's a 6'4", 200-pound junior, already committed to the U of M. And guess who's going to get the ball right away? Actually, he's going to bobble that one, and it's going to go into the end zone, and the Irish will start at the 20-yard line. That might be the one thing we see man drop tonight.
Well, every so often, excellent players will have a small lapse in concentration, and quite frankly, that's probably what Mr. Mann had there. Just a lack of concentration. He was already starting to run and look down the field when that ball hit him in the chest, and I agree with you, Mike. I suspect that tonight we will have very few of those from number 1.
Number 2 is their quarterback as we go up the numerical roster there. Max Carter, the 6'1 senior. I believe he's a third-year starter for Jeff Erdman's squad. And the Irish this year have been running some 3 and 4 receiver sets, which is very, very odd for an Erdman coach team. And they're going to have 3 this time as the man goes in motion. And Carter is going to be drilled behind the play on the keeper. Great defensive play that time. Merwin in there for the Wildcats, number 44. Or check that, Ryan Meekin, 44, in there for your Eagan Wildcats.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, Mike, that almost looked like a busted play. It was odd that the quarterback rolled and turned that way when when there wasn't really anybody there, and he wasn't moving at full speed. So excellent chance for the Wildcats here to take an early advantage.
So 2nd and 15 for the Irish. Carter coming out of the pistol. They're going to send a man in motion, and they're going to run it right side. This is number 23 for Rosemount. He's going to get out near the 20-yard line. And wearing number 23 is Christian Grasky. He's a 5'10", 150. 2nd and 15 for the Rosemount Irish. Gets up to the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 3rd and 10 upcoming for Rosemount. Good job that time by Eagan to spread them out on the defensive end. Carter sure looks like it's pass time for the Irish. A couple guys in the slot, one man to the left. Carter's going to look this near side, and that ball is knocked down by number 11 for your Eagan Wildcats. That's Joey Gallus on the stop. Andrew Reuter, the intended target for the Irish, and it's going to be a 3-and-out for the home team.
Oh, Gallus has got to be very pleased with that play. He did a great job of tracking the ball off the quarterback's hand and made a great play at the top of the arc. It was excellent defense. This couldn't have started, I think I've said this before, this could not have started better for Eagan. They get a 3-and-out, and they're going to get the ball hopefully near midfield.
Yeah, Carter, the quarterback, is the punter for Rosemount. Isaac Hofstad's been the man back deep most of the year for Eagan. That's a low kick. That ball may not even reach midfield. It is not. His man is going to touch it at about the 47. Outstanding field position for the Eagan Wildcats on their first drive with a $122 gone in this one.
Last week against Lakeville South, Eagan started deep in their territory several times. Had to drive 70 yards, 80 yards, 65 yards to get a touchdown. Here they've got to go 46 yards to get 6 points. Mike, this is a great opportunity for these Wildcats.
For the Cats a week ago, they only had 148 total yards of offense. So 129 of that was on the ground. So I would imagine we will again see a healthy dose of number 9 Carter Lyons, and number 6 is McGinley, Marcus McGinley. And give it to Lyons this time. He's bowls ahead to about the 44-yard line. By the way, Jonah Evans getting the start at quarterback tonight for your Eagan Wildcats. He came in the second half a week ago down at South. It was, I believe, 3 for 6 through the air. All 3 passes were to the tight end, Adam Call. So I asked Coach Hansen before the game, I said, you haven't completed a pass to a receiver this year. And he kind of looks at me like, so? So a 3-yard pickup on first down for the Wildcats as Evan leads them to the line. Long count by Jonah. Yeah, he's going to throw it on first down. He's going to try to go over the middle. Nobody there for the Wildcats. Somebody got mixed up amongst the massive bodies at about the 39. And it's going to be 3rd and long upcoming for the Wildcats.
So that's really unfortunate, Mike, that time that they had everything blocked up. Evans had plenty of time. Unfortunately, it looked like the tight end got tied up and maybe even tripped on a defensive back or a linebacker's legs. But clearly, had he been able to release, we would have had two men in the pattern and would have had a chance for a big gain.
So 3rd and 7 for the Wildcats. First series on offense for Eagan after Rosemount went 3-and-out. Rosemount looks like they're going to blitz. And they step back. Yeah, here they come. They're going to send a couple extras. But here comes Lyons near side. And he gets down to about the 38-yard line. It's going to be 4th and about 3 upcoming. And I would imagine the Wildcats are going for it from here.
Yeah, I was going to just say, thinking to myself, will the Wildcats go for it here? I see no reason to have that punter on the field. You're not going to lose much in field position. You want to try to do something that's going to give your team a lot of momentum, get guys fired up. That was a great call. They were blitzing the A-gaps. They were blitzing inside, was Rosemount, and they were able to Lyons was able to get to the outside and make some great yardage.
Making some noise here on the Eagan side of the stands at Irish Stadium. Evans hands it off straight ahead, and it's going to be close. I don't think he got it. I believe that was McGinley. And I'm going to think the surge by Rosemount. Yeah, Eagan's going to be about a yard short, it sure looks like, from where. Actually, it's Cole Gibson coming up off the bottom of that pile. And that's going to be first down. Rosemount going the other way. They're not even going to measure after that 1-yard run by Gibson.
No, that's unfortunate. Eagan had something of a surge. I think what happened there is the back and the line just couldn't quite get their communication line straightened out. I mean, there was a surge, and there probably was some room to run, but it was such a quick hitting play that there wasn't an opportunity to find that room.
We mentioned McGinley. He's playing defense tonight for the Wildcats. Mention that in a second. It's Carter under center. Straight ahead handoff. Straight up the gut is Green. 45 into the Wildcat 40. Still on his feet. And Green takes it down to about the 33-yard line. Big pickup by the Rosemount back. Defense tonight for the Wild.
Got sucked in and got blocked, and that's obviously not something that you can have if you're going to play defense against a speedy back.
It's going to be a 29-yard pickup by number 27 of the Rosemount Irish. First down at the Wildcat, 33-yard line. And boy, he had a lot of room once he got that football. Carter, is he going to throw? No, they're going to give it to Green once again. He goes straight ahead. He still picks up about 5. Number of Wildcats in on the stop, including number 40, Zach Merwin. Now, this is more of the typical Rosemount offense that I think we've all become accustomed to under Coach Jeff Erdman. It's going to be a 2nd and 5 for the Irish.
Well, our viewers at home, Mike, are going to watch this misdirection, watch the movement in the backfield, and how that's going to try to freeze the linebackers.
Carter, Green, nice play by the Eagan defense. 41, Jaden Williams, the man on the mission for the Wildcats there.
Carried by Green. Excellent play, Mike, by Williams that time, being able to not only get to the point of attack, but also make the tackle. I mean, how many times in the last 2 weeks have we seen running backs be able to step out of those tackles? And that time, Williams was able to bring him down, wait for help, get some help, bring him down, and turn it into what would have been maybe a bigger gain into a no gain.
Right, so it is a no gain. It's going to be 3rd and 5. Man is out wide right for the Irish. Reuter wide left, both on single coverage, and it's like audible at the line. Here's Carter for Rosemount. The give, Green once again. And he's going to get the first down out inside the 20-yard line as the Irish are going to move the sticks on about an 8 or 9-yard pickup. Well, it looked like Eagan might have had him stuffed early on, but somehow 27 was able to squirm his way through. And that spot is going to be spotted at the 19-yard line, so it's going to be a 9-yard pickup. And Rosemount in the red zone for the first time tonight. A week ago in that game at Edina, Rosemount had a lot of trouble in the red zone, especially late. Still, they had 3 tries in the fourth quarter, came away with no points. And straight ahead, it's another good run there on first down by the Rosemount Irish. It was Green once again, number 27. He's been the workhorse this far for the Irish.
Well, one of the best ways to move the ball in the red zone is to run straight ahead, Mike. I mean, it's instead of running laterally, instead of trying to get to the outside, is to give the running back the ball between the tackles. That's what he had that time. He was able to get, almost 7 yards on first down.
2nd and 3 for the Irish. Boy, I wouldn't be shocked to see him try something in the corner on a jump ball here. Carter, nope, instead they're going to hand it off to Green. He squirms his way through down to about the 5-yard line. Good stutter step move to pick up an additional 5 there by the Rosemount back, but the chains are going to move. Well, chains are going to come off because it's going to be 1st and goal for the Rosemount Irish at the Eagan Wildcat. Looks like just outside the 5. They're going to say at the 5. Boy, a lot of options here for this Irish offense. Again, Carter under center. Give it to Green, why not? He runs into a pile, keeps the legs turning, still turning. Try to rope him down. Finally taken down LeBear. It looked like one of those rodeo steer wrestling things. He just comes on the back and just couldn't bring him down.
Mike Green wasn't just the ball carrier. He was the ball carrier, the Wildcat carrier, the Wildcat carrier. That was a tremendous athletic play by Mr. Green. No question about that.
That was one heck of a half-yard gain.
Absolutely.
We'll give them 1 officially.
Now here's where here's where you go to the air, Mike.
Yep.
Quite candidly, here's where you go to the air. You got number 1 there in the slot.
That's man.
Yep.
Cats, did they jump? Yeah, they did. So that ball's going to get half the distance to the goal, assuming this is indeed an offsides on the Wildcats. And it is. Had to wait for the official word.
Well, now the personnel package changes. Notice, Mike, that man's off the field, the wide receivers are off the field. They're bringing another tight end. Now you have to think either it's going to be between the tackles to Green, or it's going to be a rollout for Carter.
Austin Lentz is the up back. He's 5'11", 215, number 28. We'll see if he maybe leads Green on through. Just a job coming in from the outside where the Wildcats. That was Herman. Will Herman came around, was able to bust that one up just enough.
And it's going to be 3rd and goal for the Irish at the 1. Well, for Eagan, there was not much room for error on that one. That was nice and close to the goal line, but nonetheless, good gang tackle by about, as you say, probably about 3 or 4 Wildcats on that tackle.
5:17 now to go in a scoreless first quarter here at Irish Stadium. Rosemount went 3 and out. Then Eagan got great field position, went for it on 4th down, got stopped. Irish took over at their own 38, and here we are. Rosemount looking to put the first points on the scoreboard here tonight. Carter, Green, and he's going to go in standing up. Touchdown, Irish.
27, Garrison Green carries 1 yard for the Rosemount Irish. Touchdown.
Well, the Rosemount Irish that time had a good line surge, and Green, as you said, was not contacted until he made it to the line of scrimmage. And when the line of scrimmage is only 2.5 feet away from the goal line, it's going to be a hard sell to try to keep him out of the end zone. Nonetheless, Eagan didn't play bad defense on that series. They had some plays where they did some good things. If they can take care of some of those mental challenges, mental mistakes, I think they might be competitive here on defense.
Nathan Whiting, the kicker for the Irish. He wears number 11. Watching this kid in warm-ups, boy, I would, if I'm Jeff Erdman, I would feel very comfortable putting him in from a 40, 45-yard attempt. Here it's only 20 for the extra point, and he does split the uprights, and it's 7-0 for the Rosemount Irish. 7:02 into this one. 9-play drive, 62 yards, all on the ground, and all by number 27, Garrison Green. And the Rosemount band is firing things up at the north end zone. I'll tell you, it's the Rosemount Irish Tackle Cancer Night tonight. It's the student section for the Irish decked out in pink. I know there was a $2,000 check given to the Randy Shaver Cancer Research Fund before the game. I didn't catch who it was from. I'm guessing it was the Irish Boosters.
It was, Mike.
But yeah, you look over on the Rosemount side, their student section is, can we say packed? I think we can say. We'll get a shot of that eventually, but on the far side, even a lot of the regular folk, shall we say, they're wearing the pinks, and there's a lot of blue and yellow over there, but an excellent turnout tonight. Yeah, there's a look at the Rosemount student section. Mentioned our own pit is down here, and it's a denim out. So it's kind of something different, I guess. A lot of these kids apparently don't even have denim, they were saying.
Yes, apparently denim and jeans are something of a rarity, about as rare as a tailored suit, I guess, when you're in high school. So apparently everyone had to raid their parents' moms or dads' closets to find some denim, and here we are with some denim.
So we got a little bit of a different return guy for Eagan this time. Caden Hansen back there, number 84, along with McGinley. Or Derek Hansen, I should say. Why do they call him Caden? That was our quarterback last year. Doesn't matter. This is going to be McGinley from inside the 5. Tries to find his seam straight up the gut. And actually, that's Hofstad. Check that. He gets out across the 20-yard line where the Cats are going to start their second possession of the football game, down by a 7-0 score.
First and 10 for Eagan from the 20.
You look at the replay on that, the end of the replay anyway. A little more bare-bones system than we're used to tonight here on the ETV broadcast, but we're still happy to bring you Wildcat football on ETV. And as always, special shout-out to you watching us on the World Wide Web, wherever you're at. Here in Rosemount, by the way, game time temperature is about 85 degrees, and the dew point's got to be what? It's got to be 70.
I was going to say 370.
Yeah, it's definitely sticky here tonight for week 3 of football action. And the Wildcats go backwards on first down, and a nice surge by the Rosemount defensive line. Loss of about 3 that time for the Wildcats. We saw something a little too much of last week at Lakeville South. Oh, just bursting through. Who was that? I think it was number 6, I believe, for Rosemount. Reuter. -2, they're going to say. Officials are being generous maybe on that one on the McGinley run.
Well, Eagan's got a... Oh, sorry, Mike.
No, go ahead. I was going to say 2nd and 12 upcoming. Rosemount thinking blitz. Are they going to bring him? Nope. Eagan's going to run left side, though, with McGinley once again. And he runs into a number of Rosemount Irish defenders. I think Tyler Steimer might have been the first one in there for Rosemount. And it's going to set up 3rd and long for the visiting Wildcats.
Now, I don't think they're going to go to it on this down, Mike, but the last 2 plays, especially that last play, it looked like Evans had room. If he had kept that ball, it looked like he was going to have room to boot out to the what would have been his right. the offensive right side of the field. So we'll see if the Eagan Wildcats come back to that in the next series, perhaps.
And I stand corrected, it was Austin Wentz on the tackle, number 28, not 20. So we'll get that fixed in production. Evans on a 3rd and long for the Cats. Misdirection play, and that's not going to get anywhere near where the Wildcats need to go. They get up near the 24-yard line. Number 12, the ball carrier for the Wildcats, Max Meekin. Might be Max's first carry of the year.
Very well might be. Well, it was a game of about 10, so unfortunately you needed about 15,
right,
or 13, but it was a nice hard run by Max.
So we mentioned Cole Sackmaster not playing tonight for the Wildcats, the normal Eagan punter. Looks like number 47 is back to do the honors tonight. That is Will Herman. Coach Hansen saying it was going to kind of be punter by committee tonight. And Herman gets a low liner off. There's man, he's just waiting for it back there. Will he scoop it up? Nope. Didn't get the hop that he was looking for, and Rosemount's going to take over on about the 42-yard line here with 2:34 to go in the opening quarter. I know last week you called it, it was adventures in punting, we called it. Eagan had a couple of them tipped, and just not a good night overall. Coach Hansen told me they've recruited a rugby player by the name of Joe Kruger. He's going to be doing the punting starting next week for the Wildcats. So for those of you that maybe remember like Reese Lloyd for Eastview, I'm thinking, is this going to be one where the kid runs out to the side and boots it? And
very well might be. And you know what? That might not be such a bad thing.
No, if you're like Reese Lloyd.
Yep.
That's a pretty good leg there. 4 receivers set for the Irish as they start at their own 42. And the give is straight ahead. And a minimal gain that time for the Rosemount Irish. Good job that time by Downs and company for the Eagan Wildcats. So we take a look at the replay. Watch this surge by the Wildcats. They read this one well. So it's going to be 2nd and 9 upcoming for the Irish. Eagan doesn't seem to be showing any kind of blitz, even though Carter looks like he's in a pass situation. He is going to throw far side. Eludes one man, that is man. And he's going to get rustled out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. Going to set up about a 3rd and a 4 for the blue-shirted Irish.
Well, good job by Eagan. You know, the secondary in the first couple of weeks, especially against Minnetonka, had some challenges in terms of A, staying with guys, and B, once the catch was made, getting to the receiver. That time they did a good job of getting to the receiver, breaking it down, and making a tackle. Man's a good player. He's getting some yardage, but let's keep him from going 60 yards. Let's give him 6, not 60.
And they did blow the whistle before he got out of bounds, as you see the clock continue to roll. 3rd and 5 for the Irish. Carter rolls. He's throwing near side. That ball, caught on the far side by Rosemount. 40, 30, looking for a block. Tripped up down near the 20-yard line. That's Caden Rudall. He's a 6'2" junior. And the Cats nearly took one the other way.
Not only did they nearly take one the other way, Mike, they also were in Carter's lap when he threw that ball. Another half step from the defensive end on that side could have really made Carter's life really, really difficult. So 2 opportunities. Now, the glass half empty crowd is going to say, well, they gave up a big gain. The glass half full crowd is going to say, we had pressure on the quarterback, and we darn near had a pick 6.
51 yards on that completion for the Irish. And we've got whistles aplenty. And timeout taken by the Eagan Wildcats. I want to mention, we mentioned Coach Jeff Erdman here, the Rosemount Irish. Well, his son Jackson is a quarterback now up at St. John's University. Just got named to the 2018 All-State AFCA Good Works team. One of just 22 student athletes across the country. And they get to go down to, I believe it's the Sugar Bowl. They're going to be honored down there. But Jackson, he's a junior up at St. John's. He's got a 3.3 GPA as a global business leadership major. Takes part in Kids Fighting Hunger, Tackle Cancer. It's donations for St. Jude's. Was in a trip to northern Thailand last year working on sex trafficking. So congratulations to Jackson Erdman, the former Rosemount quarterback, and doing some pretty good things up there in Collegeville.
Well, one of the advantages of high school sports and even small college sports, Mike, is that it's really designed not just to be a good athletic experience, but to create good human beings, good men of good character, women of good character, people you want to live and work in your community with.
So Eagan comes out of the timeout. Rosemount's looks like they're going to try and stretch the field. They've got 3 receivers. Green, the lone Man in motion. Man's going to keep. He's trying to go around that right end. Can he get there? No. Good job by the Eagan defense to force man out before he could turn the corner. Might have picked up one on that play.
First out of bounds by 29, Charles Utu.
Watch the Eagan defense here. Just stay right with him.
Great job by Utu. Look at the pursuit. He kept his outside shoulder free. He didn't get pushed down the field. The receiver on that side was blocking him the whole time, and he was able to still slip it and make the tackle. That was an excellent defensive play.
Not too many guys are going to keep up with Jonathan Mann when he gets so outside like that. Inside a minute to go here in the opening quarter. It's 7-0 Irish, but they're looking to add deep in Eagan territory. Here's Green. Guess what? He just put 6 more on the board with a 12-yard touchdown run. That's his second of the quarter and obviously second of the game.
Well, that time Eagan just had a gap. They had a gap, and Green was able to find it. You know, this Rosemount an offensive line, we understand, has 2 new starters tonight. And I candidly, after the first series, I expected them to have a little more problem moving that football, but straight ahead run blocking apparently is not their problem with respect to what they're good at, being successful at. Green's had nothing but room to run inside the tackles.
10 carries, 74 yards right now for Green. Waiting for the PAT attempt. Carter the hold. And that kick is no good. So it's 13-0 in favor of the Rosemount Irish with 50.2 to go in quarter number 1. That'll get the Rosemount band fired up off to our right once again. Just had just a huge crowd tonight here in Irish Stadium. She mentioned some other activity around the area tonight. We've got Eastview at Shakopee, Farmington's at Lakeville North, Lakeville South on the road. Finally, they go to Burnsville. And a big one up across the river, Prior Lake at Eden Prairie. Saw Prior Lake 4th in the state rankings. Eden Prairie dropped to 6 after they got beat last week, or blanked last week down at Lakeville North. So congratulations to Brian Vossen and the Panthers on the big shutout win. And they've got Farmington tonight, who the Wildcats will have in a special game 2 weeks from tonight. TCO Performance Center at the Vikings headquarters up there in Eagan. Rosemount, I believe, is at Farmington next week. Whiting swings that leg into it. He's got a good long kick. Cats are going to start at their own 20-yard line as the right foot of McGinley went back into the end zone. And we mentioned that game at the TCO Performance Center. We were talking to the Eagan Athletic Director, Sandy Sutter-Larson, before the game. They're going to be selling tickets before that game. Details are still being worked out. Like Sandy said, check your email, check the school website. They are expecting a full house up there that evening, and that's the 28th against Farmington.
Yeah, with the capacity of that place, Mike, you won't want to miss it. It'll be one of those things that you'll want to be able to talk about where you were and what you were doing at that game.
Plus, it's homecoming for the Wildcats.
That's right.
Who are going to run it here on first down with McGinley. And he maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. A whole bunch of Irish players in there. Cam Work, Nick Magnuson, he's number 7. Off the bottom of that pile, he's number 56 for the Rosemount Irish. Isaiah Oropeza. And there's the Wildcat. Not a good play there on first down. So it's going to be a 2nd and 10 on what could be the final play of quarter number 1 here on ETV.
Magnuson making the stop.
Cats seem kind of slowly coming up to the line, but I would think they've got to get this one off before the buzzer. You see the time counting down there on your screen. Evans' long count. And that play is going nowhere. Carter Lyons absolutely wrestled down. Here's 56 again for the Rosemount Irish. We just mentioned him, Oropeza. And it's going to be 3rd and about, 15, 16 when we start the second quarter. Let's see what they officially spot this one at. Boy, he burst through that line quick. They're going to be nice. Only a 1-yard loss on that play, they're going to say.
I think what happened is forward progress was 1 yard, but then he was and fell down 5 yards back.
All right, let's take ourselves a very quick break here. It's 13-0 Irish after 1. You're watching Wildcat football on ETV.
It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. Changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back inside Irish Stadium as we get set for the second quarter here on the Rosemount Irish Tackle Cancer Night. Good first quarter for the Rosemount Irish. 2 touchdowns by Garrison Green, and they've got a 13-0 lead. And the Eagan Wildcats are looking at a 3rd and 11 as we start quarter number 2. Cats going to be moving right to left across your screen this time. Wind is non-existent tonight, so nothing to speak of, so that's not an issue tonight. As we said, it's hot, it's humid, and Evans is going to air it out here. Looking for Hansen, and that's broken up nicely by the Rosemount Irish. Some of the Cats looking for an interference call, but none forthcoming against Evan Geiwitz.
Well, Mike, there was contact certainly with the defensive back and the receiver, but the referees obviously did not think that it was something that was going to materially affect the play, but there was contact, so I understand that ask for a look. Now here, again, quarterback had time, quarterback threw the ball, receiver had an opportunity to catch it. Those are all good things.
Oh, let's take a look at it right here. Couldn't quite see it, but you're right. There was a little pushing and shoving. So man back to receive the punt. Let's see who that is for. That's that was McGinley on the failed punt attempt. And it's, did the Irish get in? No, they are going to be down at about the 2-yard line. Looks like number 4 for the Rosemount Irish. That's Evan Geiwitz that came through, disrupted that. Rosemount on the doorstep, 12 seconds into quarter 2. Well, the adventures in punting, as we referred to it last week. Or you get the credit for that one.
Yeah, well, it's certainly something I wish I didn't have to take credit for, but the fact of the matter is that Herman was out there earlier for the first punt, and he didn't take 2 steps. He took 1 step and punted, got it off really quick. That time, I'm not sure if the snap came back a little slow or whether we took too many steps, but obviously that, we didn't block. One of the 3.
I think the snap might have been a little slow, but it was more the blocking issue that time. Yep. They were in there quick. Rosemount looking to get their 3rd touchdown of the ball game. Here's Green. He's got 2 already. Oh, what's one more for the Rosemount back? This time from 4 yards out. 19-0 Irish. Take a look at this once again. Watch 27 in blue. Just kind of squirms his way through. Looked like 44 for the Wildcats. Meekin might have had a chance early, but even then that was going to be a tough tackle with the momentum by Green.
It was going to be a tough tackle, and if you look at that replay, Mike, you see Eagan tackling up high. You see, trying to tackle a guy like Green around his shoulder pads is going to be a losing proposition. He's got a low center of gravity. He's obviously a strong runner. You got to get lower, and you got to get around his waist.
Whiting looking to clear the band here with his extra point attempt. Oh, yeah, he definitely he cleared the band. Oh, nice catch back there by one of the band members getting near the track. It only counts for 1, though. And it gives Rosemount a 20-0 lead. Well, just when we were thinking things couldn't get much worse, you have a punt miscue. Rosemount takes 1 play. And that momentum has definitely continued to swing even further to the Irish.
Well, Eagan, quite candidly, Mike, Eagan needs something here. It needs one of the players in white with a gray helmet's got to do something. He's got to either come up with a big hit, a turnover, a return. We need an individual performance that's going to make us say, "Wow, these guys are going to get back into this game. These guys are going to show fighting spirit." That's all the coaches want to see. That's all the players need. But the players need to do that. Somebody's got to step up and make that type of a commitment. It may not work. It may work. Who knows? But they got to make the commitment.
Right now, unofficially, Eagan has 8 yards of offense. Not going to happen against a Rosemount Irish team.
I don't think 8 yards of offense is going to work against anybody.
No,
quite candidly, Mike.
Eagan went for it on 4th down, got stopped, then they punted, then they had a punt block. And it's 20-0 Irish. Whiting is going to boot it. A little line. This one looks like it should be returnable. Nope. I guess past McGinley. Into the end zone it goes. Cats are going to start at their own 20-yard line, down by 20. And let's see what kind of offense, if Coach Hansen looks to maybe try to get a little more creative here to get something going. You know, he and offensive coordinator Copeland are thinking we got to come up with something, and you got to put something together on this drive. I mean, you got on 4 scores. You could probably warm up the bus, so to speak, which is really sad to say early in the second quarter.
Go number 8.
All right, looks like Evans is going to lead the charge onto the field for the Eagan offense. Eagan faithful. They're trying to get him fired up a little bit here on the near sideline.
First job, Mike, is let's get a first down.
Absolutely.
Let's get a first down and move this ball so we're not on our own 20.
Absolutely. Evans under center. Long count by Evans. Give Lyons. And Lyons going to go nowhere. He lost about 3 on that one. 3rd straight play. Oropesa in there for the Rosemount Irish.
You know, that play looks like it's going to get blown up every time by the Irish. What they're doing is they're crashing hard. They're shooting that gap and they're crashing hard to the outside. The cut, if you watch the replay here, you'll see that from the left side of your screen, you'll see him. Here he comes, and there's penetration into the backfield. That means the cut you can't go around it. You've got to go inside of it. So you need Lyons to turn that ball and try to cut and run to daylight inside there.
2nd and 13. Evans looking to the side. Cats might be thinking about a change. It's like I believe Dylan McGuire in the game right now at the up back for the Wildcats. He missed the Lakeville South game, I should say, with an injury. And here goes Lyons. He tried to go one way, comes back the other way. Good power running by Carter Lyons, but he's only going to pick up about 3 yards. I believe there were about 8 Rosemount defenders in on that play, but a good job. He went left, saw nothing, went back to the right. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats, looking for their first down of the evening. They are down by a 20-0 count here in this battle of 196 schools.
You know, we had good success on that last 3rd down with the 3-step drop, the fade out to the outside receiver. Our receivers have got a lot of height on these defensive backs. I'd throw it out there to Meekin or one of the receivers and see what we can come up with.
Derek Hansen lined up near side for the Wildcats. Rosemount, are they going to blitz from the right side? I think it might be offsides on the right. Nope, he was. I think they got him. I think that was, I believe, Jacob Peterson. Let's see if that's indeed, if it is going to be offsides on the Irish. Official looking to get his mic straightened up. And indeed is. It's Rosemount. Well, you saw Peterson jumping on that right side. Of course, he's over there against big number 75 for the Wildcats, Cody Smith. So I'm thinking any advantage you can get against Cody is something you will definitely take.
Well, if you're smaller and faster, you don't want to go head-to-head with a player like Cody Smith. You want to go around him. And so that's exactly what he was trying to do. Unfortunately for him, he was in the neutral zone at the snap of the ball.
Yep. So it's 3rd and 5. Receivers, 1 left, 1 right. Rosemount thinking blitz again. Are they going to come? They are. Evans, I should say. Evans cuts back. Nice move by the Wildcat quarterback. And he's going to get out near the 40-yard line on a fine individual effort by Jonah Evans.
Well, you know, Mike, I was talking just a minute or two ago about somebody needs to make a play. Somebody needs to do something. Somebody needs to excite this team, excite this crowd. And watch this. He's dead. They got him dead to rights. They're all over the place. But credit to the offensive line. Most of them are still on their blocks, and then as they see him break, everyone's blocking for him to try to get him down the field. Great play by Evans, recognizing that he needs the first down, and he has green grass in front of him. Don't try to throw the ball, just get the first down.
13-yard run, first down of the ball game. And that was something we noticed last week, more so with Gugino back there, where they were coming even quicker, and Gugino had even less of a chance than what Evans had right there. Straight ahead for the Wildcats. Plowing his way out across the 45-yard line. That's Lyons.
Now Now that's how you run.
Absolutely.
You lower your pad level and you drive your legs and you run through an arm tackle and you get 8 or 9 yards. Wow, that was impressive by Mr. Lyons.
So it's going to be, we're going to give him 8 on that one. A 2nd and 2 up near midfield. Let's see if this is the drive where the Cats can indeed march down the field and get some confidence. Fairly tight formation for the Cats. Straight ahead Lions, and he'll be dropped right at midfield, but that should be enough to move the sticks. And indeed, there they go. It's going to be first down at midfield for the Eagan Wildcats on a 4-yard run by Lions.
You know, and Mike, I still, you know, as much as this running the football is great, a great tactic for the Eagan Wildcats. You got Hansen out there against a corner, a defensive back. He's 8-9 inches taller than this guy. I would love to see them throw him a ball and see what he can do with it.
Yeah, they don't list the Eagan height and weight on the roster, but Evan Guy was for number 4 for the Irish. He's 5'9", 160. And actually, in motion, but we've got whistles aplenty. And the official has his back to us, so we'll see what this. And it's like a delay of game against the Eagan Wildcats.
That's really unfortunate. Eagan doesn't, quite candidly, Mike, Eagan doesn't need to be taking penalties like that. We've got to get these plays in a little faster, and
especially coming on first down.
That's right.
And I don't know, is that something where it's, you're kind of, Gugino's been your quarterback for a lot. Evans is right there. Something new there. Maybe we talked about this last week. The cadence, maybe. Is it, Coach Copeland from the offensive coordinator trying to get the play down? Cats are going to plow straight ahead. That's got to be Lions barreling his way, and he might have snuck into Rosemount territory. 5-yard pickup for the Eagan Wildcats. And indeed, Lions coming up off the bottom of the pile, along with Andrew Reuter for the Rosemount Irish. Well, nice job of Lions to get low on that play and kept those legs moving.
He did the same thing there. He did a couple of plays ago where he's dropping his pad level, he's keeping his legs churning, and these Irish are going to find out real quick that they can't tackle that way either. They're going to have to get low. They're going to have to wrap up.
2nd and 10. 2 receivers right for the Wildcats. See if Evans tries to go to the air this time. Nope, give it to the Lions. And they might want to go to the air on what's going to be 3rd and long. Noah Thompson in their first man for the Rosemount Irish. Loss of, they're going to say -1.
Well, that time there's just way too much penetration. As you can see here on the replay, there's just way too much penetration in the middle of your screen. And there's just nowhere to go. Once the back gets the ball, we've got guys falling off blocks, and that's, running into the defensive lineman is not a good recipe for success for a running game.
It may be cliche to say, but does Rosemount just have their ears pinned back on this one at this point?
Well, they're going to be coming.
Absolutely. 3rd and long. Need to get down to the Irish 40, and Eagan moved. And there's the false start signal, so the Cats are going to go back another 5.
Well, that was a crafty play by the Rosemount Irish. They were moving, but they were not in the neutral zone. And as long as they're not in the neutral zone, then the offensive line has to stay set. Now, if they had entered the neutral zone and our guy had pulled back, it would have been a 5-yard penalty against Rosemount. But as you saw, they had not entered the neutral zone, and so it's 5 against us.
Yeah, it was 28. Austin Lentz that came up and created havoc on that right side. I think it was earlier in that drive when Jacob Peterson kind of crossed too, but he got flagged for the Irish because Eagan did not move on that one.
That's right.
3rd and 16 as we approach the halfway point of quarter number 2. It's Rosemount 20, the Eagan Wildcats nothing. Evans rolls right. Looks like he wants to air it out across the middle. And the ball's nearly intercepted on the far side by Rosemount's Peterson. McGuire the intended target, and it's going to be punt time once again for the Eagan Wildcats.
So Mike, 2 things about that play. Number 1, Evans had time to get to the sideline, and he had time to throw the ball, which is great. Interestingly enough, that time they brought pressure, and Eagan dealt with it. And the second
absolutely.
thing is they brought pressure. They didn't just rush 4; they rushed 6, and we're still able to make something happen there.
And correct, it was Charlie Barnick that nearly had the pick. We've got a new punter for the Wildcats. I'm trying to read. It's a 5-something. One of our linemen. Short kick, favorable bounce, however, and it's going to roll dead at about the 32-yard line. 24-yard punt. Downed by The Eagan Wildcats, number 23, Adam Bartell. 5:44 to go. Irish up 20-0. And they are going to start this time from their own 32-yard line. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, both these teams 0-2 coming in. Rosemount, they've lost to a couple of top 10 teams. Eagan lost to a top 10 team and then just struggled a week ago down at Lakeville South. And this was really a game that I know they were looking forward to get some momentum going here against the district opponent, albeit a very tough one. Going to throw it, Carter across the middle. Looking to break a tackle inside the Wildcat 35-yard line is number 23. That's Christian Grasky. 35, they're going to say a 34-yard reception to the Wildcat 34.
Well, that time Carter had plenty of time. The Cats looked like they brought 6, but the Rosemount Irish were able to pick up all of those blitzers, all of those rushers. And as a result, it was pitch and catch.
5:24 and counting here before the half. Rosemount band, they're getting warmed up over in the corner. The award-winning Rosemount Irish Marching Band. Here's Green. Stutter steps back to the left, gets to the right, gets down inside the Wildcat 25. That's going to be close to a first down. And I think they're actually going to give it to him. Yep, there go the chains. 10 yards that time for number 27.
Oh, we talked on offense about the Eagan Wildcats needing somebody to step up and make a play. Well, someone on defense, Mike's going to have to do the same thing. Somebody on the defensive side of the ball is going to step in and either create a turnover or make a big play, knock them off schedule.
If you're an Eagan fan, right here would be the ideal time. Carter up under center. Green, the lone setback. Carter, long count. Carter keeps, rolls right side, cuts it back up. Nearly got the ball stripped. 15-10, nice stutter step move. And he keeps barreling his way down to the 6. That's about 18 yards by the Rosemount quarterback. Just a lot of missed tackles there by the guys in white.
Yeah, that time Eagan was in the right place. You know, we've talked, Mike, before about how you need to make the tackle when you're there. Like, there's one missed tackle, and there's another one, and then there's probably some more. So we just need to be able to wrap it up. That's right.
I mean, that was a great effort there for youngsters that are watching. Keep those legs moving.
Right.
Grasky, touchdown Irish. Christian Grasky from the 6. 26-0 Irish. That drive went 68 yards in 4 plays. Took all of 128. Call that a quick strike offense, I believe?
Yeah, that could be called a quick strike offense. It could also be called an offense that's beating you at the line of scrimmage. I mean, the running between the tackles, whether it's Green or Grasky or whoever it is, I mean, Eagan's got to come up with an answer to that. They've got to find a way to stop that.
Whiting. Plenty of leg. Is he accurate? He is. 27-0 Rosemount. And there's still 4:16 to go in the opening half. Mentioned the award-winning Rosemount Irish Band is going to be halftime. We won't see them, but they were in the Macy's Parade last Thanksgiving. I saw they won. I guess Eastview had a marching band invitational last weekend, and then Rosemount, I believe, has I think I saw they have a big marching band festival here tomorrow. But always one of the top bands in the state, the Rosemount Irish Band. Not bad. You get to play in the Macy's Parade, and I remember that they showed the story on one of the local news channels about all the parents that were gathered at the there's a local restaurant up here by the Pond Hockey Center, and they were just absolutely going nuts when they showed them on the parade. Mentioned the Cat Band will be back in action as the Cats return home next Friday night. They host the Shakopee Sabres, 7 o'clock start in Wildcat country.
Need a big return here, Mike.
Absolutely.
We need something, even if it doesn't only goes up to the 30-yard line. We need a return. We need something to jumpstart this crowd, something to get these guys in white jerseys going.
Yeah, last 2 kicks have made the end zone. And let's go 3 in a row for Whiting from the Rosemount Irish. Nothing he can do on that return. So Eagan at their own 20 once again. 4:16 to go.
Well, at some point, Mike, Eagan there's film on Eagan. Okay, what did they do last week against Lakeville South? They moved the ball on the ground.
At times.
They moved the ground on the. That's where they were successful. So what's Rosemount going to do? Are they going to say, okay, are we going to let you keep doing that, or are they going to pack the box, bring up guys, run blitz or blitz, and force you to throw the ball? So I think, like I said, I see guys on the outside that are bigger and taller and than the defensive backs for Rosemount. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try and see if we can spread that out. Because right now, our backs are finding some tough sledding.
You saw the huge crowd here at Rosemount High School on a Friday night in September. Straight ahead run by the Wildcats. They're going to maybe get a couple that time. I'm assuming it's Carter Lyons getting those hard-fought yards for the Wildcats. He's generally the Wildcat workhorse from the backfield. But again, look at the surge by Rosemount. You're going to say one that time for the Cats. By the way, I was just looking. Egan's had 5 possessions. First drive started on the Irish 47. Other 4 have all started on the Eagan 20.
Got to take advantage of good field position when you get it, right, Mike?
Absolutely. Cats put a little something together last time. They got a couple of first downs. Looking to do better this time with the football. And Lyons gets kind of tripped up. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. But again, just another good surge by Rosemount. Who's that? I didn't see who that was coming through, but boy, somebody should burst through that line quickly. 3rd and 10 upcoming. They're going to say, we've got a timeout, I believe, taken. I didn't see the official call, but Egan's coming to the near sideline, so I'm assuming, well, I don't know, it might be Rosemount. They're thinking they're going to get the ball back. Yeah, indeed it was the Rosemount Irish timeout, as we hear from public address announcer Jeff Smith. Jeff, the former girls hockey coach here at Rosemount High School. But it's 3:32 to go in the second. And no, your eyes do not deceive you if you're just tuning in. It is indeed 27-0 for the Rosemount Irish. And it is Tackle Cancer Night here at Rosemount High School. You showed it earlier. I'm sure we'll show it again. The Rosemount student section, they're decked out in the pink. I would imagine Eagan will be having a tackle cancer game at some point this season.
It is on the schedule, I'm told.
And next Friday night, they are home against Shakopee. 2 weeks from tonight, that would be the 28th. That's the big game up at the Vikings training facility, TCO Performance Stadium. Yep. There's that matchup again. You talked about it on the bottom of your screen. Well, a moment ago, you saw it on the bottom of your screen. Let's see if Evans comes near side. Hansen with a big advantage. He's looking this way, rolling. He's got pressure. Evans has got to keep it, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds after a 3-yard pickup. Number 15 up for the Irish to make sure he didn't go any further. That's Charlie Barnick. And the other thing, clock stops.
Yeah, it did stop. That helps the Irish a lot. And what's interesting there is rolling to that side. You had Hansen on that side, but of course, Evans is rolling against he's right-handed and he's rolling left. And Hansen was moving down the field, and there wasn't anybody short that he could dump that ball to. It was kind
You saw Adam Copeland, the Wildcat offensive coordinator, talking things over on the sideline. So adventures in punting once again. A good snap, good kick. That's going to be fielded just on the Rosemount side of the 50. Cutting to the outside is number 4 for Rosemount. That was number Evan Geiwitz, the defensive back. Nice return by him. And it's going to spot the ball at the Wildcat 33-yard line. Let's take a look at this once again. He gets to that outside. Couldn't quite get the ankle tackle. There was 16, Jack Thompson. Nice attempt, though, by Jack. So 33 yards away from the end zone are the Rosemount Irish with 3:17 to go in quarter number 2. Irish have 2 touchdowns so far in the first quarter, 2 here in the second. They do have 2 timeouts to go. Carter going near side, and that ball is going to be knocked away at the 12-yard line. The intended receiver out there was Zach Barnick. Good coverage back there by the Wildcats. Coming out from the linebacker, Zach Merwin. Good coverage there, seeing his man come out of the backfield and going stride for stride.
Yeah, he sure did. That was a great defensive play, and his coverage there could not have been any better, Mike.
You saw number 28 coming over to help out again, also for the Wildcats, Jaden Johnson. Boy, in this defense, they've been out there a lot this half, and it's hot. It's a humid night. You do not want to be giving up these long drives. Carter, good pressure that time by the Cats. He gets it off, and just off the hands of number 23, Christian Grasky. A good job bursting through was Meekin. Not sure he was even touched on the blitz there.
Well, it's the best kind of blitz when you don't get touched, and he made the most of it. He was right in Carter's lap, and but for a blade of grass, he was going to have Carter on the turf.
Yep.
Excellent play.
Yep. And yet they still nearly got the ball to Grasky. Went off his fingertips. Rosemount's going to go man to the left. Two guys bottom. Carter's got one back with him. That's Green. 3:07 to go. Carter looking, inside route, got his man. That's going to be touchdown, Rosemount Irish. Andrew Reuter from the 33.
Oh, really unfortunate for Eagan. If you look at the top of your screen here, you're going to see a big hold from the left tackle. He's absolutely tackles the defensive end. Unfortunately, Egan's not going to get that call. It's right there on tape. It's easy to see, but they didn't get the call, and unfortunately, it's a touchdown. It's 6 for the Irish.
And Charles Otu, he had no help on the inside that time. I think he was maybe thinking there'd be a safety over there, but there was not for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that time they had man under. They only had one safety, and they had at least two. They had one linebacker blitzing. They might have hit two. I couldn't see in the replay if that guy dropped out or not.
That drive took 16 seconds.
Well, if you throw a number of incomplete passes, yeah,
that's true. Stop the clock.
Keep stopping the clock.
Yeah, I don't know how close was Meekin on that? To nearly getting Carter on that play before. That would have been a third and
forever.
Third and 18 probably. Yep. And Whiting for another extra point attempt. Carter the holder. And we've got flags. I imagine we got to have a delay here on Rosemount, don't we?
Yep. Looks that way.
Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Look at that camera shot we had right before that. Though kind of the wide shot with all the trees in the back. But that shot right there. This is one of the best settings for high school football. Rosemount Irish, you got kind of this sunken stadium a little bit. You got all the trees there on the north side. You got the big hill over on the left. There's a lot of people wearing pink over there tonight too. But look at the home stands are almost packed. There's Whiting from way out. And that kick is So it's 33-0 as the kick fails. 33-0 Rosemount. Just kind of doing some quick math. So far, Egan's been outscored 102-7 this year. Ouch.
Well, if the Eagan Wildcats had any question in their mind as to what they need to work on, that would be a big one, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, ultimately, these kids know where they're at and they know what's going on. In all honesty, they got to put all that out of their mind.
Absolutely,
they have to put that out of their minds and just focus on the next 4 plays. Okay, we've got 3:01 left here in the half. If we get on the board, we get a little bit of momentum. We have some fun. Okay, we show improvement. We do some good things.
Yep.
Let's get the ball, get it up the field, try to get a couple of first downs, and then let's heave a couple to the end zone and see what happens. Or try to let's get on the board here, boys.
And I'm sure that's pretty much word for word what Coach Hansen is saying down on the sideline, and we'll probably say as well at halftime. It's just going to be win that down. And Whiting, he's put 4 in a row in the end zone. I had to recheck my math. Will it be 5? It will be. And he's got no wind at his back, so nice weapon to have there for the Irish. 3:01 to go in the first half. Eagan will start once again from their own 20-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining for the Wildcats.
Get a first down, Mike.
Yep.
Right? I mean, we get a first down. Move the clock a little bit. Make sure that we don't turn it back over to them here quick. Just let's move the ball. And if you're an offensive lineman, it's don't worry about the last play. Don't worry about the next play. On this play, I'm not going to fall off my guy. On this play, I'm going to block my rule. On this play, I'm sticking with my guy.
Yep.
Those guys up front have got to get it done for this offense.
Yep. Win this play.
That's right.
3 simple words. Pitch. McGinley, look out. Going to maybe find his way. It's only going to be about a 2-yard loss in what could have been much worse. And Rosemount, I believe, going to take a timeout. A number of Rosemount Irish players in there once again. And there's that 56 again, Isaiah Oropeza for the Irish. And they are going to take a timeout. a whole bunch of Rosemount players in there. Oh, first man in, 25. There's Peterson coming up to help out. Just a lot of them in there quickly. Rosemount does take their second timeout. It's going to be, they're going to say, you only lost one on that play. Well, if Rosemount gets the ball back, I mean, if you're Coach Erdman, you're thinking maybe give your starters one more series and get the second half off potentially, or do you bring them out for one series just to kind of that whole, hey, we come out after halftime mentality kind of thing, just practice that. But
let's hope we don't see that necessarily. But it'll come down to ultimately what he thinks is obviously best for his football team.
Absolutely.
Right now, I think what's best for the Eagan Wildcats is they got to get a first down here. And if that means they got to throw the fade to the outside, they got to just let a big receiver go get it, or if they got to throw a screen pass, they can pull something out of the playbook we haven't run all day or haven't run yet this year. Show the Irish something new.
It's going to be 2nd and 11. 2:50 to go in the opening half. Not a misprint at the bottom of your screen. It is indeed 33-0 Rosemount. Carter deep drop looking near side. Tries to air it out. God, just could not quite connect out there with number 12 for the Eagan Wildcats. That's Max Meekin, the junior. And that's going to stop the clock. Rosemount's favor really with that clock stopping. Eagan looking at a 3rd and 11.
You see how close that was, though, Mike. I mean, that I have to say that. I mean, that's what Eagan needs to be doing. I mean, they need to try something a little different than what worked for them last week, because what worked for them last week's not working for them right now.
I know the one pass here when Evans rolled out to his right, he had some time doing that.
He did.
He's tried to come left a couple of times, and I'm not sure.
Well, it's so hard.
If he's just more comfortable coming that way, but you're right, he's got to throw across his body.
That's tough. It's tough on any quarterback.
I would assume he's going to put it in the air here. Here comes Rosemount. Good pass across the middle. That ball is going to be picked off far side. And Rosemount's going to get the ball down back at about the 20-yard line as that pile continues to move.
Well, it looked like there might have been a miscommunication there between the receiver and Evans. I couldn't tell if it was Hansen or who it was, but it almost looked like it was Hansen out there. It almost looked like somebody he ran a different route, and Evans threw it a little either down. He was expecting Hansen to be farther down the field and maybe not bend it in. I couldn't quite pick it up on the replay, but it looked like a miscommunication, which is unfortunate because he did get the ball out. It was a bullet.
Thomas Purfirst, the interception for the Irish. And Rosemount tries to get a low throw. Are they going to give it to him? And I don't think he got it. Officials are going to, I believe, have Grasky with the reception. A different opinion of from the men in stripes. 12 yards on that completion.
I mean, they have a better view than we do usually, but boy, that sure looked like it hit the ground.
Rosemount looking to make this potentially go up 40-0. Touchdown Green. That's number 3 for him. 39-0 Irish. 3-yard run. I don't think he was even touched till he got to the goal line. So in a span of a minute and 9, Rosemount's gotten 2 touchdowns and an interception. Waiting to make this 40-0 in the second. Now if he clears the band, he hooked it. Nope. He definitely crushed that one. And it is indeed good. 40-0 Irish. If they pan out on that shot just to here, you'll see the scoreboard. But if you're an Eagan fan, you're probably saying, don't pan out. A lot to cheer about tonight in Rosemount, Minnesota, where they, I want to say, I don't know even what the right word is right now, crushing, but.
Well, they're taking advantage of every opportunity.
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
Other than the first drive where they really shot themselves in the foot and played poorly, other than that, on every single drive, they've taken advantage of the opportunities. They've made the defensive plays they needed to make, whether it's interceptions or pass breakups or good tackling. Offensively, they've had the burst and they've had excellent individual performances. So it's not a look. This is not secret. This is not a governmental secret or a trade secret here. They're playing better football right now than the Eagan Wildcats. And the Eagan Wildcats need to step up and say, okay, you guys, we're going to play better football in the second half of this game.
Hanson and Lyons back deep. Whiting going for 6 straight to the end zone, and he's got it. And Eagan will start again at their own 20-yard line, where every drive has started except for the first one. When you think back, had Eagan to put something together on that drive when they had the chance, would things be different? You got some points on your side. You maybe had a little momentum there going for a while.
Well, at some point, players in the back of their head, they do ask themselves, hey, can I compete on this level? Can I compete with this team I'm playing against? And I think psychologically, you have to be able to say, yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to compete with these guys.
2:08 to go. Looks like Gibson in the backfield now for the Wildcats. Evans still your quarterback. Just no turnovers here for the Wildcats. There's Lyons. Nice tackle by Rosemount. I didn't see who that was. Somebody with a single-digit number got that right arm on him. And it looks like number 3 coming up off the bottom of the pile for the Rosemount Irish. That's Cam Work, linebacker for Rosemount. Looking at the Rosemount roster sheet they gave out, and I have never seen this before. They do height, weight, and then graduating year. It doesn't say 12 or 11 for a grade. Graduating year.
Yeah, so you have to do a little bit of mathematics, which quite candidly, if I was good at math, it wouldn't be in my chosen profession on Monday through Friday. But bottom line is, it's an interesting game program. Meanwhile, Rosemount's taking their I believe it's their last final timeout because apparently they think they're going to get the ball back here.
Which tells me if you're the Eagan Wildcats, you're running this football. Just run the clock down. Just, get to the locker room. No worse than it already is. And there's Lyons trying to go right side. Squirms ahead, gets about 3. Coming off the bottom of the pile for the Rosemount Irish is number 55 on the defensive line. That's Daniel Tesh. And we've got an injured player. Well, that's the one thing you don't want to have happen. And it's somebody wearing white. Diana Backlund, the Eagan trainer, out. And we missed an opportunity last week at Lakeville South. It was Diana's birthday. And we forgot to mention that one on the air. So happy belated birthday. That's Lyons. Hopefully just a cramp. As I said, it's hot, it's humid. It feels like a July night here in mid-September. I heard one of the TV meteorologists last night saying that today could be one of those record high dew points for the day. Yeah, it looks like just a cramp there for Carter trying to shake this one off. So it's 3rd and 6. There's the Rosemount Irish band. Boy, they got to be hot in those outfits, their costumes. I'm guessing those are wool.
I don't think I'd want to. I think those would smell like my son's hockey bag at the end of the season.
All right, let's see if the Cats can get a first down here. McGinley tries to burst ahead, but he cut the corner, came up, and there was number 31 for the Rosemount Irish waiting for him. That's Noah Thompson.
Eagan doing a good job there. McGinley doing a good job there of making a hard cut. That he couldn't get to the outside. He makes the hard cut to the inside. Excellent job there, but we're not getting that secondary block. We need that block on the inside where the cut is to stick just a little bit longer to give him an opportunity to get a little bit more speed as McGinley's heading down the field.
Punting time for the Wildcats. 56 to punt for the Wildcats. That would be Matt Salamone, junior offensive lineman. We said next week, Joe Kruger expected to be on the Wildcat roster, a rugby-style kicker that's going to be doing the punting. Really, Coach Hanson doing a pretty good job recruiting on that one. And we've got a timeout taken by the Wildcats to presumably just avoid the delay of game. She mentioned a couple other activities. I know the boys soccer team, they won at Shakopee last night 2-1. The girls won on that same field by a 2-0 count last night. The swimmers beat Rosemount, I think it was 99-79 last night. Girls cross country was down in Rochester. I believe they tied for 6th at the Rochester Mayo invite, and apparently that's one of the top meets that goes on. So congratulations to them. Tennis had a 4-3 win over Wyzetta the other day. Went right down to the end. So the tennis team doing well again. They've got their big invite tomorrow. Oh, it's going to be hot and humid on those Northview Park courts.
Well, if you're the Eagan Wildcats here, you gotta obviously block for this punt. We can't afford to turn this ball over in our own end. We gotta create some field position, change it up here. But again, when you're blocking here, you don't have to block the guy down the field. You just have to stop his helmet. If you stop his helmet, the punter's gonna have enough time to get the ball off.
Guywood's back deep for the Irish. As we said, Matt Salamone kicking for the Eagan Wildcats. Low snap. Salamone gets it off, a low liner. And it might bounce out to midfield a little bit, just pass actually across the 45-yard line. Rosemount take over on their own 45 with 26.6 to go in the first half. You think, well, you just hand it off here, don't you? You don't try to rub this one in.
I think there's an excellent chance that they'll be throwing the football.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think there's a chance they'll be throwing the football. Although, now, well, maybe they're just going to kneel on it.
Yeah. Yep, and Carter will put that the knee down. Well, we said it's Tackle Cancer Night here in Rosemount, and we've got a lot of pink shirts across the way. There's the kneel down. And the Rosemount Irish are going to head off the field. They're going to go past their student section there, donned in pink. 40-0. The Rosemount Irish over the Eagan Wildcats at halftime here in week 3 of this district rivalry game. Again, it's a packed student section over there for the Rosemount Irish here on the Tackle Cancer Night. So we're going to go to the break. The Wildcats, a lot of work to do. They are down 40-0 with the second half coming up shortly. You're watching ETV, your home for Wildcat sports.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework. I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
1 in 5 children struggle with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to understood.org.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Hi, Meals on Wheels.
I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels.
I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
I remember, Dad, you and Mom got this car with a hatchback. I said, you know, I'd be happy to give you the money to get a really great car. And he said, well, no, this works for me. I says, why? Because it's the right height to put the meals in. Dad, tell me when you first got an inkling about Meals on Wheels.
There was kind of an abandoned house. That's where we got started with Meals on Wheels. We kind of filled a need for people as they got older.
It's the human interaction that probably fed them much more than the food.
Oh, yeah. When you can see somebody else benefiting by your life in some way, you can't help but feel good about it, I think.
Well, the reason I'm involved, Dad, is because you are, and you're so inspiring. How you've impacted people is enormous.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back inside Irish Stadium on the lovely campus of Rosemount High School on a hot, humid night. The Rosemount Irish, you see them there in the blue with the yellow trim. They lead the Eagan Wildcats by a count of 40-0. Yes, 40-0. Mike Cook, Nathan Cron back with you. And Nathan, at this point, obviously, the odds are astronomical the Cats come back and win this game, but you've just got to look one play at a time, don't you?
You absolutely look one play at a time, and that's going to be the key for these players. It's key for these coaches to have improvement on every single play. I mean, what we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast was, do you want to play better this week than you played at Lakeville South? I don't know that they have played better this week than they did at Lakeville South, but they have a whole half to remedy that. They can come out here in the second half, put some points on the board, move the football, probably against a heavy dose of second-string players for Rosemount, and make something positive out of this evening.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And we mentioned Eagan does get the ball to start the second half, so hopefully they can come out right away and get something positive from an offensive standpoint. Unofficially in the first half, total yards for the Wildcats before penalties was 45. So it's been that one-sided, and I think Eagan has had, I believe it's 7 drives, 6 of them started at their own 20-yard line, and Rosemount's just had really good field position all night long, and they are definitely capitalizing.
Yeah, it's a situation where Rosemount's taking advantage of every mistake that's made, and that's what good football teams do. A good football team that's well coached is going to take advantage of the mistakes that you make, and Eagan has made some mistakes. We had another block punt this week. That's quite frankly, that's something that just can't happen.
Right.
And right now, looking ahead to next week, if you're looking at the film, when 2 weeks in a row when a team's had multiple block punts, that's going to be a challenge next week is making sure that special teams faucet doesn't get turned back on.
And going back deep for the Wildcats will be number 9 Carter Lyons and number 84 the receiver Derek Hansen. Should mention looking ahead 1 week, the Wildcats will host Shakopee on the 21st, 7 o'clock at Wildcat Stadium. Right now, Shakopee is losing 10-0 to Eastview. The game being played over in Scott County. And into the end zone it goes once again. Other quick scores from around the area. Burnsville leads Lakeville South in a game at Burnsville. That's a 10-0 game. Lakeville North absolutely crushing Farmington by a 42-13 count. That's at the half. And at the half, EP bouncing back. They lead Prior Lake 21-6 up on the turf there at Eden Prairie High School. So we've got... So Farmington is going to be the 2 weeks from tonight. TCO Performance Center, Viking Training Facility. Farmington Tigers, the Eagan Wildcats. Get your tickets early. Just a reminder from the Eagan Athletic Department, they are going to be selling tickets at school. Things are still being worked out as the ball is loose on first down, and it's going to be Rosemount football. When it rains, it pours. Number 75 looks like, actually it's going to be 55 maybe for Rosemount, the football. Those Lions just trying to get somewhere, and there were just too many blue shirts. It looks like it's 15. Charlie Barnick with the football. Well, we were saying he needed to come out and do something, and that wasn't what we referenced.
No, it absolutely wasn't. I mean, you're going to have a steady dose of second-team players here for Rosemount, but Eagan needed really to put something together there, and that was the worst possible thing they could have done.
And from the Eagan 19, this is 23 for Rosemount. They haven't got to the bench quite yet because that's Christian Grasky, the ball carrier for the Irish. Looks like Rosemount's got a few of their number ones still in there, maybe just for this one series. Actually, they actually have pretty much, as I look around, number 12 is now in at quarterback for the Irish. That's Trevor Armborst. He's a 6'1", 181-pound junior for the Rosemount Irish. Early stages here, second half. Grasky bounces outside, and he gets popped on that far side. Good hit over there by somebody wearing white. Will it be enough to move the sticks? It will be, and it's going to be first and goal for the Rosemount Irish. So 2 runs. And the ball is going to be spotted at the Eagan 7.
Well, we've seen this story before, Mike. Eagan here in this situation, they have an opportunity to make a stop here and make a statement that they're going to keep competing to the end of the game, and I'd really like to see them do that.
Near side, Irish looking to bounce to the outside, and we've got a flag. Is that the first flag of the game for an in-play infraction? Thinking it might be. I don't know if we've had anything else tonight. We've had a couple of delay of games. We had an offsides.
Well, actually,
and it's going to be holding on the Irish. Let's see if we can spot it on the replay. Not sure where it was, but good coverage that time in there. Like hustling in for the Eagan Wildcats.
Well, the flag came in late, and ordinarily in a play like that, you might decline the penalty because it was a loss of yardage. However, because it's goal to go, moving it back makes a lot of sense.
Yep. It was Merwin that got in there quick for the Wildcats to actually finish off the ball carrier. So it's going to be first and goal back at the 23. And we've got flags aplenty once again. False start this time on the Rosemount Irish. So first and goal from the 28 upcoming for the guys in blue.
Number 20, 5-yard penalty. First down.
In the last play where they had the holding call, Mike, it looked like the wing on the right side had he lined up and then he moved his feet really quickly. I think the referees were going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he was resetting and kind of shifting rather than jumping the gun. But wonder if maybe that they tried it one more time, and that time the referees weren't going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I incorrectly mentioned Tyler Steimer earlier on a tackle. Well, that time he was the guilty party. They're going to throw it across the middle. Oh, good defensive coverage back to Gallus for the Eagan Wildcats.
Yeah, Gallus made a great play on the ball there. He went shoulder to shoulder with the receiver. He didn't interfere with the receiver. He didn't do anything to that would potentially draw a flag. Excellent play here by Gallus to break that up.
Really not a bad throwback there by Armborst, led the receiver, but Gallus, give him all the credit on that play. Gallus, he's a junior D-back for the Wildcats. There he is, number 11 for Eagan. It's now third and goal at the 28-yard line. Rosemount, they're going to Armborst going to throw it. They're going to air it up, going to the corner. He's got a man deep and couldn't quite connect. Gallus back on the coverage for the Wildcats. 86, the intended target of the Rosemount Irish. That's David Knoll. He's a 5'6", 134 they've got him listed at.
Well, Gallus had good coverage that time. I think this ball actually, Mike, it's hard to see from our vantage point, but I think that ball may have even landed out of bounds. Yeah. I think that was quite a heave, and we're gonna see something we don't see very often in high school football. We're gonna see a long field goal.
Now Whiting going to be a 45-yard attempt. Rosemount's starting quarterback, number 2, Max Carter, is the holder. Actually, looks like the ball's going to get spotted at the 34, so it'll be officially a 44-yard try. And Whiting, he was drilling them in warm-up. Anyway, he's got plenty of leg. Is it accurate? It is. 44-yard field goal. It makes it 43-0. That was a heck of a kick.
It was a heck of a kick. He looked like that, depending on how he needed to aim that ball, it looked like that might have been good from another 5 to 10 yards out. He got some good leg and some good air under it. So, if you're Rosemount, though, you're as you can see here on the replay, he follows through and you can see that ball. I think he would have been good from another 5 or 6 yards out at least.
Easily.
And if you're Rosemount, you're playing against teams and the score is close. Having that weapon to be able to kick a 44-yard field goal and have a better than even chance you're going to get it. Boy, it really opens up your playbook on third down. Number one, and number two, it gives you a great opportunity to score points on almost every possession.
And I will say there was no wind involved in that kick. Nope. It is a very still, hot, humid night. Speaking of still, look at all the fans that are still here on the Rosemount side. We said it is a tackle cancer game here in Rosemount tonight. On the left of your screen, one packed section of Rosemount students wearing the pink. It's a denim out for the pit here on the Wildcat side. And they're still here. They got the arms up right now. They're ready for the kickoff. Give the pit credit. They are traveling well. They're going to look. Rosemount gets set to kick it off, and it's going to be a new kicker this time for the Rosemount Irish. Looks like number 31 will be doing it. That's Noah Thompson. Nope, actually, here comes Whiting. Okay. Maybe they just had to get the correct kicking ball in. I want to mention a story about the pit that I heard the other day. I don't know, many people know John Millay. He's like the communications specialist up at the State High School League. Actually, I believe he lives in Rosemount, so this will tie in just nicely. But John was up at the Wildcats Stillwater volleyball match here about a week and a half ago. And Matt Anderson from the pit brought up a Diet Coke and a bag of M&Ms to John. John, very well known for his Diet Coke, and in press boxes across the state, there's kind of like a joke about that. John's like, no, I'm not, thank you very much, but he looks to John's up in the top row of the gym and looks over to the guy in the corner and says, oh, that's the guy you should really be taking care of. And Matt looks at him like, well, who's that? And he says, well, that's Hugh McCutcheon, head coach of the Gopher women volleyball team, who, at the time, #1 ranked team in the country. So what does Matt do? Goes and gets a Diet Coke, bag of M&Ms, off to Hugh he goes. So nice hospitality shown by the pit, and they got a nice shout-out by John Millay on his podcast he does with Jim Suhan. So, you got to love the pit. They even got their own Twitter handle for the pit. I think it's PTI, Pit Eagan or something? So you can follow along with all those pit activities. So the Cats from their 20, not sure where we've heard that one tonight. Pitch is McGinley. Can he get to the outside? We got a late flag coming, and that one's going to be probably a holding on the Wildcats.
Yeah, unfortunately, this one's coming. This one's going to come back. We've got a hold. It was one of those situations where you're beating on the play, and instead of releasing, you're grabbing, and you're putting somebody down. Unfortunate.
Let's see if we can find out who the guilty party is. Okay, and of course, high school. That's a 10-yard. It's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. I don't know if it was right there. Might have been if that might have been, sure, Ian Friedland, maybe 67, I'm not sure.
Either 57 or 67.
57 is Cody Rader.
Offense, 87.
87, the tight end, actually. Adam Call.
Flag, repeat first down.
Well, we were close. 56, 57.
Eventually 57. We would have gotten there. Eventually we would have guessed the right number.
Absolutely. So it's going to be first and 22 for the Wildcats after the holding penalty. Ball back to the 8-yard line. Rosemount looking like they're going to come hard from the left side, and we've got flags aplenty, and I think Eagan's going to go back another 5. There it is. Wildcats.
Still first down.
So we talked coming out of the break at halftime. It was about win this play, win this play. Cats aren't even getting a chance to win a play right now.
Well, they've got to. These are, the holding penalty is a play. It's during the play. It's one of those things
right.
that you're gonna have here that you just got to focus. Got to calm down. You got to, if that means you got to take a deep breath, whatever it is. But right now, the Cats can't go back any farther. They've got to get some. They really need to put together something to move this ball out of their own goalpost.
Yeah, actually, the spot's going to be back at the 4 because it's a half the distance penalty from that point of the field. Cats are going to run it, and they get out near the 7-yard line on a minimal gain time. Off the bottom of the pile is McGinley for the Eagan Wildcats, and Eagan. It sure appears they've got their starting offensive line still out there right now, and that's probably a good thing. In theory, you're playing against the 2s, maybe the 3s for Rosemount, but you got to build some kind of confidence.
Until those players have some success on the field and demonstrate that they can perform and have something positive to build on for next week. They should. I mean, unless it gets really crazy here in the fourth quarter, they shouldn't be off the field. They need to put something together.
Evans is still in at quarterback. Number 8, he's went the distance so far tonight. He's going to try and go near side. There's Hanson with his first catch of the year. He gets out near the 15-yard line. 9-yard pickup, just a simple route, simple pitch and catch, and the Cats are able to pick up some nice yardage.
No, it was an excellent play. It was a good step. It was a 3-step drop. You'll see here on the replay. He's back 3 steps. He's firing on target, on time. There was a window there. If he had held that ball for another half second or a quarter second, that ball was not going to get completed. So he picked the right window. He got it in there. And Hanson did a great job of catching the ball, cradling it, and coming to the ground, making sure he catches that ball before he tries to run with it or do anything else. Look, just get the first down, boys.
Yep, so Eagan won that play. They got 9 yards. Now they need 15 on this play to prevent a punt situation. Inside 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter, and Evans going to go to the air once again. Going far side. He's got a man over there. Kind of curls back at the 20. They need to get out to the 30, however. And it's going to be punt time for the Eagan Wildcats. Meekin, the ball or the receiver for the Wildcats. Like a number of Rosemount players in there that time on coverage.
Well, as he drops back, you see here there is a little bit of leakage on that offensive line, and I think he puts a little too much, he puts more air under that than he really wants to, but at the same time, he looks out there and he sees a whole bunch of defensive backs for Rosemount. So, again, 2 completed passes in a row, Mike. It's something to build on.
Absolutely. Punt time for the Cats. Low screaming liner. No chance that one's going to get a return. It's going to look good in the yardage stats. Ball goes down to the 31-yard line. Unofficially, that's going to be a 48-yard punt for the Wildcats. I think at 47, looks like they're going to spot it at the 22. Or check that, the 32, my bad. Yeah. So, 18 plus 5, 47-yard punt for the Wildcats. Take it.
Absolutely, you'll take it. I mean, if that's a situation, if that helps flip your field, that's what you want every time.
So the Rosemount Irish with under 7 minutes to go here in the third. It's 7-0.
Oh, it's curious, Mike, is you've got one of the Rosemount wide receivers who wasn't even in the huddle. I'm kind of curious as to what he's doing out there by himself.
And Rosemount's just going to try to run it straight ahead. Good play in the interior line of that Eagan defense. Coming up off the bottom of the pile is number 50 for the Eagan Wildcats. It looks like that's going to be, I believe it is, Vlad Zablin.
Zablin that time did a good job of pressing. He did excellent job of pressing with his arms out, getting extension, not letting the offensive lineman get into his body to block. He was able then to move the offensive lineman to the side and then get hands on the running back.
2nd and 8 clock continues to run here in the third. And it's going to be another good play there by the Eagan defense. Rosemount really not much going on there. Not sure if it was that Meekin first man in for Eagan. I don't know if we got the replay, but it may have been was it Zablin once again? I'm not sure. It's going to be 3rd and 7, however, for Rosemount. Rosemount yet to get a first down this half. Yep, yeah, they started. No, check. They did get one earlier on. Then they took some penalties back, and then Whiting hit that long field goal. Oh, good play there by the Irish, but it's going to be short. Good coverage over there, far side by the Wildcats. Benny LeBaire was over there for the Wildcats, so was Gallus.
Excellent play by both defensive backs as he throttles down. It's Gallus actually around the receiver's waist. He does a great job of throttling down and making sure he doesn't lose that. Notice he's tackling around the waist. He's using his body weight as well as his momentum, and that's absolutely what you want to have happen. So something that hasn't happened too much tonight, Rosemount's punting, Mike. And we're going to see.
There you go. I say we're looking for a punter out there. I was looking over the scoreboard. It said it was 3rd and 2. I'm like, no, it's 4th down. Timeout Rosemount. It's like some confusion over there on the Rosemount sideline. Maybe their punter was thinking he hasn't done anything really since maybe the first drive of the game. As we said, it's this one looks like it's going to go Rosemount's way. Rosemount travels to Farmington next week, down at Farmington High School. And then they're at Eastview, the big rivalry. Rosemount's also got Lakeville South and Burnsville at home in early October, and then they finish at Shakopee. Interesting that you look at the Rosemount schedule, they're 0-2, but they could legitimately be 6-2 at the end of the season. And nobody's going to know how good they are because they don't play Lakeville North. They don't play Prior Lake. They've had Edina Wayzata. That was going to be their first 2 games. Who knows for them come postseason time? They're still not a team you ever want to face. I know Jeff Verdon does a good job of getting his team up. High snap. Good high kick. No room to return this one. Takes a favorable bounce for the Wildcats. And it's going to be down at the 41-yard line. We mentioned Eagan, they're home to Shakopee. You have the Vikings facility game against Farmington. Then I believe it's Prior Lake, and then you finish at Eastview and at Lakeville North. So there's a couple of toughies in there for the Wildcats for sure. And one could argue you're looking at a 43-0 game right now, and they all could be tough, the pessimists might say.
Well, I think until this team finds that extra gear and starts believing in themselves and gets some momentum and demonstrates to themselves they can do it, I think a lot of these games are going to be tough. But at the same time, there's no reason if they eliminate the mental mistakes, they can't compete.
Oh, backwards pass. That's a live football. Who's got it on the far side? Guess who? It's the maize and blue. Tried to get Hansen back there. Was it 29 for Rosemount maybe? Michael Seekeran on the recovery. Nice job by somebody with a 4 there. 24 actually in for Rosemount, sliding in. Sakeen Kelly. Kelly 5'4", 129. They list him as a running back, but he was obviously playing D-back there. Well, I was just looking on the field. Yeah, McGinley was out kind of on the near, watching the receiver at the bottom right of your screen. He was gassed, hands on knees. He quickly got off as we've got a flag on this play. And nice play by the Eagan defense. Big drop back at the 40-yard line. Meekin in there for Eagan. 41 in there to help out, too. That was Jaden Williams. Or Zach Merwin checked that 40. Nice job, Merwin.
Penalty marker on the play.
Let's see what the flag is going to be all about.
Illegal formation. 5 in the backfield. That penalty's declined. 2nd down.
There you go. You would have lost 5 on the penalty. Instead, you're going to lose 6 on the play. Hey, good call there by the Eagan Wildcats. But I like the way that Merwin just busted through that time.
This Eagan defensive line needs to bring it. They need to keep bringing that pressure, though. Do the same thing they just did.
Rosemount straight ahead on the handoff. They're going to get back to about the original line of scrimmage. It's going to set up in 3rd and 10. Clock continues to run here in the 3rd quarter in a game that's been all Rosemount Irish. Just straight ahead. A good surge there again by the offensive line of Rosemount. Is number 19, Max Enright. I don't think he was touched for about 4 or 5 yards. 3rd and 11 for the Irish. Well, if they don't get it, let's see if Whiting comes on for a field goal. Well, ignore that thought because they get a run down inside the 15-yard line, down to the 12. That's a 20-yard pickup by the same man who just had the play before. Again, number 19, Max Enright. 20 yards that time.
Well, Rosemount showed us early in the game that the running between the tackles on quick-hitting plays is where they're going to be successful on the ground, and Enright's doing the same thing that Green was doing earlier in the game. It's a situation where Eagan either in terms of its physical abilities or its mental concentration or maybe its scheme, one of those things has got to change. Otherwise, they're going to keep getting beaten between those tackles.
Rosemount inside the 15 for it feels like the umpteenth time tonight. And they're going to be almost went into the end zone for the 7th time tonight. Instead, they're going to be just short. It was Enright gets it down near another Irish first down. And indeed, it will be a fresh set of downs for the Irish. And we've got an Eagan player down. I'm trying to see the number there. I think it's 22. That Gamboni, I should say. Gamboni, hopefully just a cramp. Here's our opportunity. We didn't do this one last week. We were talking about we needed to play with 22. We wanted to give our sad to hear Burt Reynolds passed away a week and a half ago. Longest Yard, classic movie, football.
Yeah, it's definitely it's probably a top 5. It might even be. It's certainly it's probably a top 10 sports movie of all time, and it's probably a top 3 or 4 football movie. Probably something like that.
Yeah, the Guards Against the Convicts. I think they tried to remake it with what was like Chris Rock and Adam Sandler or something, and you don't mess with the original on that one. But yeah, fun movie. Hey, look who's on TV. Say hi, Nathan.
Hi, Mom. You're always, hey, that's for you players who are watching or your families who are watching, you always say hi to your mom when you're on camera. Always. Hi, Mom. That's all you say. You say hi, Mom. You don't say anything else. Don't get fancy. Just take care of Mom.
And where's Mom watching us from?
Well, my mother's watching it from South Florida, and then my wife's probably somewhere either in the stands or, gosh, I don't know where she is right now. She's coming from another soccer game.
From the 3, good job that time by the Eagan D.
Well, that's the kind of penetration you definitely want, Mike. That was a host of Wildcats, and
Jaden Williams leading the charge, I believe, in there for the Wildcats. Going to be a 2-yard loss when they officially put the ball down at the 5.
This would be a small, it's a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. Rosemount's got first and goal from about the, 3-yard line. If they keep them out of the end zone here, that would be really great. That'd be great. Now, I mean, based on how they got the ball down here, 19's going to get the ball between the tackles. I mean, that's what they're going to do. They've got to be ready for it. Here it comes.
I'm sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, well, sometimes I hate being right, but if they're going to bring motion to that side to set up that sweep or set up the pitch, and there they just give it to the first man through, and again, either whether it's scheme or whether it's or just a lack of physical, lack of intensity, whatever it is, it's we're getting gashed by that, and if for the rest of the game, between I don't care if they score another 4 touchdowns, nothing between those tackles. If I'm on the defensive side of the ball, nothing.
Student chant of "We love Enright" over in the Rosemount student section. The student section that is still here in force. We're in the pink tonight on the tackle cancer game here at Rosemount Stadium for the Irish, and it is now Rosemount 50. The Eagan Wildcats 0. Yeah, a lot to cheer about over there in that student section tonight for the Rosemount Irish. I think they call themselves the super fans. I think I saw online. And they do have plenty to cheer about tonight. Well, we mentioned some of the Wildcat sports. We didn't mention volleyball. They beat Shakopee in 4 games the other night. We talked about tennis beating Wayzata 4-3. It was Haven Langley. She won the 3rd set tiebreak to get that win. Yeah, there's the score. Well, you don't have any yard markers that are higher than that. So, yeah, it's one of those games that, I mean, if you're Coach Hansen and the staff, do you basically just burn this videotape, so to speak, or do you look at them and go, here's the couple of things, more than a couple, the handful of things we did right throughout the game?
Well, I've been in situations where I've been on the wrong end of these games as many times as I've been on the right end of these games, both in my relatively short career, and there's some value in that, in saying, look, I'm not going to sit there and belabor what was obviously an excellent performance by the Rosemount Irish. Our performance was not very good. However, quite frankly, there are 2 or 3 things that stand out here. Number 1, we've got to make sure our special teams is square. We got to be tight on that. Number 2, we're getting beaten between the tackles. Can't happen. We just can't. They can beat us on the first drive, but they can't keep beating us there. We've got to find a way to make that happen.
Evans, he's tripped up and he goes down back at the 13-yard line. First man in for Rosemount, number 16, Jacob Peterson. And you saw, right before that play, you saw all the, basically, you could kind of call it a middle school hill here at Irish Stadium. A lot of those kids over there wearing pink as well. And we used to joke, you could sometimes ask those kids if they have any idea what the score even is. It's for them, it's all about just hanging out with your friends. And
well, it's one of the things that makes high school football special, in any community that you play high school football in, is that it's a community event. It's not just a football game. It's an opportunity for people to come together and be together as a community.
And I think that expands too. I mean, as Eagan looking at there you go, there's an opportunity out near the 24-yard line. Good run there by Carter Lyons. That's 9 yards for number 9. So you get, the community support you've got going as well, and Eagan's got some of the good corporate sponsor, Cooper's Bar and Grill's on board this year. Wyatt's Twisted Americana, Baldman Brewing, Buffalo Wild Wings, all on board supporting Wildcat football. And we've got the Friday Night Lights program that happens down in Wildcat country, and I know Chick-fil-A came on board this year, serving some of their sandwiches down there. So come on out early, enjoy football. McGinley, can he go the distance? It's 76 yards if he can. McGinley to the house. 6 points, Eagan.
Well, for anybody watching at home that wondered if Mr. McGinley had the extra gear, ladies and gentlemen, you have your answer. And that was definitely the extra gear. Those guys had the angle on him. He still made it to the end zone. What an individual effort. It was good blocking up front, and I don't think he was touched for the first few feet either.
Was it McGinley or was it Lyons? Lyons is over there. Let's see. I thought it was McGinley. Initially, obviously. Lyons is coming off. He's getting a lot of kudos down there. Yeah, McGinley's on the sideline. That was Lyons. I stand corrected, 9, not 6. So Carter Lyons bursting through.
Okay, I'd like to rewind what I just said and talk about how great Carter Lyons is.
Well, let's talk about this for a second, because there's a guy. There's Matt Anderson in the pit, still rocking and rolling. Here on Denham out. Nathan Willis for the PAT attempt. Carter Lyons is one of those kids. He's been busting it up inside all night. He's been getting beat up in there. A lot of gang tackles on Lyons. And it shows how good of an athlete he is. He comes through and he busts one there for 76.
Oh, absolutely. And he had, to his credit, he had the offensive line did a nice job there of giving him an opening. Now, again, are they playing against the starting defense for Rosemount? No. But the bottom line is they got to play. They got to continue to play tough football, hard football, and play block who's across from you. Don't worry about what number they wear. Don't worry about the score. Just play the game. And on that play, we talked about winning the next play, winning this play, winning that. They won the play. They got to be happy about that.
You got Adam Copeland there on the right side of your screen, the Eagan offensive coordinator. I'm going to guess that might be the second time he smiled tonight. Not a lot to smile about for the Wildcats, but that play was nice. 76 yards, and we said Carter Lyons. Here's a kid. He's probably got the bulk of the offense tonight. Tough runs, hot, humid night, and still breaks it. And actually, he cramped up not too long ago.
That's right.
The trainers had to help him off, and
that's right. It is that kind of, Mike, it is that kind of effort that gives the team hope, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It gives the team, both offense and defense, a hope. Now, this Eagan defense is now going to go out onto the field, and in theory, if we can get one in the end zone here, or back deep, maybe Rosemount's going to have to go 80 yards or whatever to score another touchdown. It gives the defense a little bit of momentum as well.
Nathan Willis, the kicker for the Eagan Wildcats. If I remember right, he was kicking as a freshman. So this would be his 4th year. And opportunity misplay there by Rosemount back at their own 15-yard line. Good coverage downfield by the Eagan Wildcats. Might have been Gibson first man down for Eagan. Also down there was Zach Wallach, number 7. Let's see, we got to take a look at this once again.
Well, it was a nice kick. It was tailing away from the receiver. The receiver, if you see, he tried to play it off his shoulder pads there, and it was a group of Gallus and at least one other Wildcat down there to make the tackle.
I think it might have been Wallach was in there too. 70 out. Gibson went by him on the side, but Gibson was first man down to really disrupt everything. So Egan's kicked off twice then. Rosemount's mishandled both of them.
That's right.
Might be the one blemish thus far for the Irish. There's a good play by the Eagan D. Nice job wrapping him up. Still a good chunk of that Eagan D out there. Downs was up on the line right now for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it was Zavalin, number 50, coming from his. I can't tell if he's playing if he's playing a 3 technique or a nose, but he's obviously an interior player.
You had the Let's Go Irish chant across the way. -2 or -3 they're going to say on that run. What should be the final play of quarter number 3. Handoff. Oh, nice little stutter step, come back. Gets up near the 15-yard line. That was number 24 for the Rosemount Irish. Sakeen Kelly. And time is going to tick away. So we're going to go to the 4th quarter. It's going to be the Rosemount Irish 50. The Eagan Wildcats 7. And we're going to switch back the other way. All right, let's take ourselves a really quick break here as the team switch ends. We're coming back momentarily on ETV for 4th quarter action.
made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
And we welcome you back inside Irish Stadium where we get set for fourth quarter action. It's the Rosemount Irish 50, the Eagan Wildcats 7. And we were mentioning just a bit ago, do we burn this tape, look at it, and you just got a text from a friend of yours that said, burn it. So
the verdict's in.
There you go. Rosemount's going to air it out there. They're going to go deep. Can they go? Way overthrown that time. And it's going to be fourth down for the Rosemount Irish. And the clock should continue to roll because by high school league rules, 35 or more if you're up by the first. We go to running time. So for those of you that are still sitting on your couch watching us, hang tight. We've got 11 minutes, 27 seconds till this one's over.
Now that clock will stop if there's an injury. Does it stop on change of possession?
It does, I believe. Okay,
other
other
than
than
change of possession.
So maybe you got like 14 minutes you got to hang with us.
That's right.
It's only 14 more minutes of your life. Again, it's hot, it's humid. There's no breeze tonight. We were just informed the bugs are coming out. So 11 minutes to go. Rosemount taking plenty of time before they get this kickoff. Plenty of time. Whiting. Oh, yeah, not a bad kick. And a dangerous play there by the Wildcats back at the 48-yard line. Diving for that football. That was McGinley.
Well, McGinley doing a great job of keeping the ball in front of him and making sure that doesn't get by him. If it gets by him, you go from being hero to goat very, very quickly if that deflects off your shoulder pads or off your chest pad or whatever it is. But again, positive here for the Eagan Wildcats is they have an opportunity now with, yes, it's about 10 minutes left in the game with running time, but they have an opportunity here starting at midfield. And an offense, in this situation can get some confidence and maybe put some things together, put some things on tape for next week to help themselves out.
And the Eagan still has their ones out there. Yeah, that's game. Yeah, that's not one of the plays they're going to want to see. That was Dylan McGuire. Good to see him back in the lineup tonight for the Wildcats.
One thing we have not seen, Mike, yet is we haven't really seen a lot of a fake play action boot. We've seen a few with Evans, but we haven't seen him do too many. We've only seen him do it maybe a couple, and he's done that pretty much always to the left side. He's a right-handed quarterback. Gosh, I'd love to see him try that on the right side with a dragging tight end or dragging wide receiver, something to give him an easy completion.
So they're going to run the ball, and he's going to be faced with about a 3rd and 8 of that game. That one gets about 2 yards. There's Lyons. He's still in there. Boy, he's dragging tonight, boy. He's cramped up. You can tell there. Yeah, Carter's got to come off. Boy, tell you what. Any doubt he's our MVP tonight for the visiting team?
Yeah, he's definitely man of the match. Question about it.
That was a nice gesture there. I think it was pretty. Looked at Carter like, hey, you doing okay? Kind of patted him on the helmet there. Good sportsmanship move there.
Well, it is, especially in situations like this. Your level of frustration, if you're a player, can get kind of high if you're playing for Eagan right now. So that's great to see from Rosemount.
3rd and 7. They need to get down to about the 43. Evans throws far side, overthrows call by about 4 yards. And presumably it will be punt time for the Wildcats. But you know what? Why wouldn't you just go for it? I mean, you got 8.5 to go. You're in running time. You got really nothing to lose.
Well, you got nothing to lose, and you've had, trademark adventures in punting, right? I mean, you've had over the last 2 weeks, you've had 3 punt blocks. Yeah, let's leave this offense out on the field. Well, no, and as I say that, of course, what do? We have somebody lining up in punt formation.
McGinley will kick it away. Back deep for the Irish, number 20 this time. That will be Tyler Steimer, Steimer. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Apologize to the Steimer fan club if I'm messing up. Nice kick there, McGinley. That ball's going to roll. Will it go all the way to the end zone? No, just missed. Hansen hustled down there. So it's going to be a net of 31. That would have been a positive play.
Yes, that would have been really neat. And that was a great effort by Hansen to try to get down there for that ball. It was, I think, somewhat unexpectedly, a good, a punt that was driving. I mean, I think The last time McGinley was in there, the ball knuckled kind of off his foot a little bit. The return man was only maybe 20 yards down from the line of scrimmage. I think he was expecting a knuckle too, but he really got into that one and got a great spiral on it. And so I think that kind of surprised everybody in a pleasant way.
Absolutely. Down to just over 7 minutes to go in this one. Let's see if Rosemount just is content to keep this one on the ground. Looks like we got a few new faces out there for the Wildcats. We'll try to mention some as we go along. And good run on first down by the Irish.
Okay, that's, Mike, they've been doing it all game, so here's what they do. They line up with one back, an ace back, with two wings. They bring one wing in motion, all right, around, and that sets up the potential option, which they're not going to obviously run tonight because they don't have to at this point. But it sets up that option. Watch, here he comes, and they're going to give it to 19, and they've done this over and over and over again. And what happens is the outside the defensive end has to respect that pitch relationship, that outside, so he's not able to close down, and they're getting a good seal block on the inside.
First down Irish out across the 35-yard line that time. Dylan Gifford, a second straight stop on defense for the Wildcats. Michael Murphy, 25 in there on that one as well. Just before that play, we saw a couple of fresh numbers too. 35 is Gabriel Favre. 88, Kamel Hassan. He's a sophomore. Big number 88 for the Eagan Wildcats as we are now halfway through the fourth quarter. And Rosemount has a first down out at the 35-yard line. See if Eagan even gets the football back, being that we are in running time. And a minimal gain there. Good group tackle by the Wildcats. A couple other numbers in there right now for the Eagan Wildcats. You saw Murphy there. Zach Wallach out there is number 7. Number 26 coming in. That's Jake Wolf Matthews coming up from the secondary position. And Rosemount looks like they've got a bunch of new numbers out there as well. However, their quarterback still remains Trevor Armborst. He started the second half and remains out there. It's Carter Grandstrand. He's a 5'10", 196 junior. He's on the offensive line right now for the Irish. He's 61. 63 is Riley Nelson, another junior for the Irish. He's on that line. Yeah, Wildcats, good gang tackle there once again. 52 on the stop. For the Eagan Wildcats is Nick Lawrence. 23 out there right now in the secondary, Adam Bartle. Always good for these guys to get at least a little experience out there. As you look at some more of the Rosemount offensive line. Will Allett was number 50 out there. He's 5'9", 252, a senior.
Yeah, for Eagan right now, these are reps that could pay off, say, in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Right. Josh Kurlikin on that defensive line right now for the Wildcats, 66. Cats might be off. I was going to say that the guy on the left end looks like 52 on the far side. Might have lined up neutral zone anyway. Lawrence, but then the Cats jumped on the near side. That was... check that. Dawson Alford's is 88. My bad. Can't read the roster. Dawson Alford's not Hassan. So.
Yeah, but I think you were correct though. Nick Lawrence looked like he might have had a hand in the neutral zone, and I think the referees are going to be a little bit
forgiving
given the situation on the clock. But at the same time, it's young players, high school players need to be made aware that they need to make sure that hand's out of that neutral zone. I mean, you wouldn't want to be a situation like that where it costs you a game or costs you a first down in a game that matters.
I'm sure the referees got big plans. I don't know if they're going to go to Cooper's tonight or Wyatt's Twisted Americana, Baldman Brewing. Maybe go to BW3, all sponsors of Eagan football. Of course, Rosemount, boy, I looked at they've got a nice 4-color program and all kinds of sponsorship on that thing, and really nice job by the Rosemount Boosters. You see a good run there for Rosemount. It's down to inside 3.5 to go. And we've got an injured Rosemount Irish player, so that would be the reason for the stoppage. Hopefully it's just a cramp for the Rosemount lineman laying down there at the 44. Again, Wildcats, they're home on the 21st against Shakopee, and then the 28th, that game at TCO Performance Center, Vikings training camp. And we can't urge people enough, keep checking the high school website for tickets on that one. They do expect a sellout. And no guarantees there will be tickets available at the event. So keep tabs on the Eagan website. I know they're going to be doing email blasts, we've been told. I would imagine Eagan's going to get 3,000 tickets. Farmington's going to get 3,000. And You know, by the time you get the bands in there and the cheer team, and especially if you're Eagan alumni looking to come back for that game, hey, get in touch with the school, the athletic offices. Sandy Sutter Larson, Emily Kennedy helping out as well in that athletic office.
Ticket prices for that game at TCO are going to be the same as if they were at Eagan Wildcat Stadium. So $7 and $5. I mean, you're not going to get into that place in any other type of event for anything less than $20, $25 or something. So it's a great opportunity to come out and support the Wildcats, but it's also a great opportunity to see a beautiful facility.
Absolutely,
and have some fun with that too.
So you put that 7 and 5 together, you get 75. Might get you into a Viking game. Might. Straight ahead of Rosemount. Good run there by number 16. He's been really doing well here for Rosemount in this drive, but did he fumble? Jacob Peterson, Cats come up with it. Wallach. Well, he's going to say he's down.
Yeah, they blew that play dead, and the referee seemed to have was pretty confident that the player was down, but at the same time, I like the moxie. I like the attempt by the defensive secondary.
Hey, we haven't mentioned with 2:40 to go, we haven't mentioned the underclassmen games this week. Sophomores won 14-12. Understand didn't have a whole lot of offensive plays, but they were able to win 14-12 over the Irish. The freshman team came up short by a 29-6 count this week, so Rosemount freshmen with the win over Eagan. And for the varsity level, it's been all Irish tonight. It's 50-7. I like the top of that screen on the left there. That student section, they're all here. Still here. I look down at the pit. Most of them are still here. I think both these schools, tremendous student section support tonight.
I'm going to go out on a limb, though. I think I'm going to give a kudos to the pit here, and here's why. Because when you're winning games, when your team's successful on the field, it's very easy to stand around and look pretty and be with all the beautiful people. But when your team's struggling, when they're still trying to figure some things out, when they're giving an effort, but it's not paying off for them on the scoreboard, it's hard. It's tougher to be a fan. It's tougher to make that emotional commitment, and it's not just it is yes a social event for these players, these young kids, these high school kids, but it's also they're here to cheer for their football team, and so I'm going to give them a lot of credit. I'm going to give them the edge in that department.
And while you were talking, the cheer team was still down there doing their thing. Well, and then there's the Rosemount side.
Say something about the cheer team. The cheer team almost never gets the type of thanks,
recognition,
and recognition that they deserve.
Absolutely.
They bring a lot to the atmosphere. They bring a lot to the game. They do a lot of good things for the game and for the community that they're a part of.
Yep.
And the biggest and one of the most important things that these players, these coaches, these fans can do is thank them for all of their efforts down here as they support these teams as well.
Absolutely. And you know what Eagan's got? Boy, I'm looking down there. There's got to be, 24 of them as I try to count roughly there. The other people who often don't get the credit, student managers on these teams. Cody Cooper is the student manager for the Wildcats this year. You look at, people like that, they're out there every day at practice just doing, Coach, what do you need? What do you need, Coach? What do you need? And they do it all, whether it's hauling equipment out there, hopping on the golf cart, doing it, getting water for the guys, just offering support throughout. And it's great for them to be part of the program as well.
It is, and you learn. We talk about the contributions for team sports and what they can teach kids, teach young people, teach adults even. The fact of the matter is that without team managers, without the cheer team, without the people who support these programs, they're part of the program too. They are part of the program, and sometimes it's hard to feel that way when you don't see your name called and you don't have a uniform on, but you're an as important part of this program as anybody on that field.
If you pan that camera up right there, I don't know what the Rosemount student section do with those lights. Just be some kind of like a starlit thing. I'm not sure what that's about.
Well, clearly, Mike, I think they're trying to make contact with extraterrestrials. They've clearly believed that there's something out there on another planet. It might be, or alternatively, it might be that there have been at least one or two circles evening. I'm thinking I'm thinking that they're trying to reach extraterrestrials.
We'll go with that tonight.
Yep.
Because you know what? I don't think we have anything else to go with there. It's just clock winds down, 16 seconds to go, and Rosemount has absolutely no intent in running a play. You see the Rosemount student section; they're still here. They hung out and they want to watch their Irish go up. They improve on the young season to 1-2 with a very favorable schedule the rest of the way. Eagan Wildcats, boy, took another one on the chin, so to speak. 50-7. Really nowhere to go but up after this one. You know what, though? Coach Hansen said he's got a good group of kids, been able to keep their chin up. They come to practice ready to work. So let's hope that continues because, let's face it, these are 16, 17-year-old kids. They know what's going on.
They do. And next week, Rosemont's 2 losses are to 2 top 10 programs. So this is not a team that, this is a very good football team that you wouldn't be surprised if they were in a section final.
Absolutely.
Or something like that. So, that's where that program is at. That's where those players are at. However, Eagan next week has a Shakopee team. It has a Shakopee team that they had some success against last year. So let's see what they can do this year.
I was just going to say Eagan had 1 win last year, and that was the big fourth quarter rally down at Shakopee. So ETV will be there for that one when the Shakopee Sabres come visit the Eagan Wildcats on the 21st. But right now the Wildcats, it's going to be a quiet ride up Highway 3 back to school. Thankfully it's not very far. As our final score here from Irish Stadium, it's the home team, the Rosemount Irish 50. The Eagan Wildcats 7. So on behalf of the entire ETV crew, my partner Nathan Kahn, I can't never say it, Kron. We're working on this. It's only game 3, right?
That's right. It's our preseason.
We're having a rough game too.
That's right.
I'm Mike Cook. I got Evan Cook. I got Dylan Haugland here helping us out tonight. So again, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for Wildcat football on ETV.
What's happening? What's going on with my computer? I've been hacked.
Hi. I heard you got hacked. Here's some advice so it doesn't happen again. Don't use your password twice. Make your password strong. Make it have some special characters, like an exclamation point. And don't share your password ever. Bye.
I'm so glad that I got my new password. I'll make sure to not say it out loud this time.